Kathy's screen is frozen.
No, I'm just not there.
Well, no. We can hear you, but your screen is frozen.
Shut up. You're a motherfucking asshole.
Wow.
I know.
I'm sorry, Eddie. I shouldn't talk about your friend that way. I'm sorry.
Oh, he
No,
knows
it's true.
Right. We don't.
No, just the way you said that. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
I'm like, shoot, ain't no need to defend that. He knows.
Holding the key firmly in my hands. I'm looking forward, I know where I stand. And this is it, I have nothing to lose. Now is the right time, I'm making my move. On the high now. You can't bring me down. On the high now. You can't bring me down.
Who's counting?
Not
5,
it. Not it. Not it. Not it. Not it.
3, not it. 1.
3, 2, 1, not it. And welcome back to another episode of World 1-1 Podcast.
Choose your fighter!
I am, as always, your host, Larry the Bearded Wonder. Joining me this week is my friends and companion, Michael.
Eh?
The Forehead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was watching the video of the YOLO thing.
Wasn't it great?
Yes. Why did he?
That's your new name, Michael YOLO Brown.
You ever hear the Lonely Island YOLO song?
I have, unfortunately.
Oh, come on. That shit's genius. In a terrible, terrible kind of way.
And also with us this week is Kathleen, because we've missed her terribly. She's been gone away from us. She left us.
I did. And it was a beautiful few months. And now I'm back.
Welcome
I'm
back to
wondering.
suffering.
And I'm wondering, well, it's good I'm suffering with others. So,
This is true.
Plus,
You
I
can
like the
suffer
people
in
I'm
solitude,
suffering
or you
with.
can suffer in company.
well, and I'm suffering with the best group of people. So,
This
It's
is
because
true.
the promise of pixie sticks, right?
pixie sticks. No, I've given up on those. I have. Those things I learned the hard way. Those things do not really do a very good thing to yourself when you snort them up your nose.
Oh, I know.
I'm so glad you went there. That makes me so happy.
I did it, and it hurts, and it burns.
Oh, we
and
all
it's-
did as kids.
No, apparently not everybody, because there were
How
a
do you
lot
go
of my
through
friends.
childhood and not snort a fucking pixie stick?
Apparently, I was unique. Apparently, the state of Wisconsin, they don't do it. Okay,
That's
let's
fucking
be honest.
bizarre.
But whatever.
Fucking weird people.
I know.
So, before we get down to brass tacks, you can and should find us rapid fire at our home on Podbean, world11.podbean.com, all spelled out, all one word. Google Play Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, maybe Podknife and Podchaser, YouTube, and Twitch. Also, definitely follow us on Twitch, because we're working on that whole trek to 200 followers so that somebody can win that shiny copy of Blasphemous Collector's Edition on Switch from Limited Run Games, which better be on my fucking doorstep in the next day or two, because what the fuck? That shit shipped a week and a fucking half ago.
I got mine.
Yeah,
Was-
I
did
know.
it really
I
shipped
got
already?
mine.
Yeah,
I got mine
it
on
shipped.
Monday.
Fucking UPS tracking said it was supposed to be here by Saturday last week, and it's not.
I have mine, and I've already opened it, and I've looked. Yay.
So,
To be fair though, like I've had a bunch of stuff that was delayed shipping this week.
yeah, I don't know
Like-
what the fuck the deal is, but
It's,
Well,
it's Indiana.
Yeah, that's true. Like that place is a shithole. They don't deserve anything nice.
apparently.
Fucking
So-
Doug Stanhope, he actually talks about how shitty Indiana is.
So yeah, those are places you can find us and should follow us, and you can directly inject us into your everyday existence if you have not already. Or you can help usher your friends into that so that they can suffer with you. Because, like we said earlier, suffering together is better than suffering in solitude. So, there you have it. Anyways, all that out of the way, let's get straight to...
Oh my gosh!
Video games.
Kathy, I've missed you the most. What have you been playing?
That's only because I'm the one who's disappeared, so...
No, absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah, bullshit. Anyhow, let's see, what have I been playing? Not much. Just continued on my Skyrim quest. Finally started the main quest line. And this is the first time I've ever done that with the mod Live Another Life installed. So I had no freaking clue how you would go into the beginning of the game and start that whole scenario of Alduin coming in and saving you. Well, it turns out, and spoiler alert for those who don't want to know, but apparently you go in and Alduin flies off and you come into the burned remains of Helgen. So, and all you do is kind of explore, and that's about it. So, I mean, you don't really get to experience that whole beginning part because you've already created your character. You don't have to worry about it. You don't see anybody getting their heads cut off or anything like that.
Well, that's disappointing.
It was a little disappointing, but at the same time, it was nice to have something different because I've played Skyrim so many times. I know the quest by heart that it's almost kind of redundant. So this was kind of nice to explore as if it was the first time playing the game. So, but we're kind of back on the same boat, and yeah, I just yeeted some people off of the throat of the world, which is always fun when you get that force shout. You can start throwing things like yeet! But that's what I've been playing console-wise. However, I was really excited. So I don't know if you've ever heard of this game company. It's called Rusty Lake. So they have a bunch of like escape type games, puzzle games where you have to click on, pick up items. Those type
I
of
might
games.
know what you're talking about. Yeah,
And-
I don't know if I've ever done any of theirs specifically, but I think I know what you're at.
You know, where you got like a screen and you click on the stuff and then you interact with different things and then you have to solve puzzles to progress further in the story. Well, I found this, I don't know how I found it. I found it on, I think it was on the Apple, the App Store.
Okay.
And when I was looking for escape collections, and they had a series called Cube Escape, and so I highly recommend Rusty Lake. Go check them out. They've got, if you like those type of puzzle games, they are wonderful, and they're all interconnected. They've kind of form a story. It's a really weird story, but they've got some basic ones that are part of their Cube Escape games, and then they have some more involved story quest lines. Rusty Lake Roots, Rusty Lake Paradise, and they came out with with two new ones, and I just found them. One is called Samsara Room, which is based on their first ever Cube Escape game, and it's kind of like a remastering of it.
Okay.
And then another one called The White Door, which again, and again, if you play through the series, you can see how they're all interconnected. They're all interconnected in some way. There is backstory, and you learn a little bit of it playing Paradise and Roots. But yeah, that's been occupying my time. And then they've always got like hidden rooms, secrets. So there's a lot of replayability with them to try to find all of the hidden stuff in them. So highly recommend those games, especially if you like those point clicks. And most of them are free. You can find them free to play.
Right.
They're online. Some of the other ones, like the more involved games, there are prices. You can also find them on Steam. It sounds like they're going to bring their Cube Escape collection of all the games eventually to Steam. But yeah, you can pretty much find them for free or on the Google Play, iTunes their app
Right.
stores. So definitely check them out. They're fun to play, and especially if you like those type of games. They're frustrating though when I can't figure out the damn puzzle, and it brings me back to The Witness in many ways. But I still like them. They're fun.
Nice. No more Animal Crossing?
I've kind of taken a break, but my daughter has been keeping me posted because she's trying to get a specific character still, and we are still having trouble getting rid of the one guy. But
Serve him
Apparently-
his eviction notice.
we can't. And she's tried boxing him in, everything. He teleported out of his box, so we don't know how that happened. But I told her just be patient. We'll get there. But yeah, just haven't. With work and everything, it's just been really hard to find time to play, and then everybody being on the games is just.
Yeah.
It's hard to find time to play. And when I do have time to play, I'm either streaming or I'm playing Fortnite. So, which I haven't touched Fortnite in a couple of weeks either.
Ooh.
Yeah. Can we say maybe Fortnite is dying in my eyes? Maybe? I might play it tonight. We'll see.
I don't know. I've kind of gotten that impression for the last few times we've talked on that subject, actually.
They'll
It's-
probably announce something new, like some new, what are they called, season or whatever, and that'll actually catch your interest. You'll go back to it for a little bit, but
I will, because I will want to. It's that completionist in me, but I'm not as much of a completionist anymore, where it used to be I had to get all the quests done. But the seasons have just been getting kind of blah. And it's actually become, I think when they started doing the skill-based matchmaking, the games became less fun, because once you're up at a certain skill, you don't drop. So when you're at a certain level, doesn't matter how much you lose, you're going to stay at that level. And that's the problem. I was kind of stuck in an area where I just was not getting any better, so I spent most of my time dying.
Mhm.
But, you know, it is what it is.
And Michael, what have you been playing?
I started playing that game you were talking about last week, the Penkapu or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm actually really enjoying it. I've literally just started tonight. And then, so I'm only like a few stages in. I did find out that there are skins. There are like a daytime skin and a nightmare skin already unlocked. And the nightmare
Really?
skin's badass one. Yeah, it's on the option menu.
Ooh. I'm gonna have to go back and fuck with that then.
But well, yeah, the nightmare skin is badass looking. But beyond that, I loaded up a brand new file of Breath of the Wild because a friend of mine was really into the whole Zelda series, but she's never seen it. And so I literally just started it up and handed her the controller.
Mm-hmm.
But about 20 minutes in, she just shoves the controller at me and goes, "Okay, now show me how it really plays." And like just starting, I got to the point to where I can get off the plateau,
Okay.
and like just playing it a little bit, it's like, man, I forgot how good this fucking game is.
Mm-hmm. That's part of why I haven't done it, because I know if I do, it's just gonna fucking soak me in for another 100 hours.
Yeah, like that's the big thing. Is I haven't touched
Like I've
it
got so
since
much
that
to
day.
do.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't touched it since then because I've been meaning to start up Bayonetta 2. I've been meaning to. I still got Control to fuck with, and I haven't even touched that. But you know, I don't know. It's the concept that like I've been doing. Like I've been so busy lately. I've been looking at all the stuff that I want to start, and it's like I know that's a commitment that I just don't have right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, but well, as I said, now that I'm off work for the foreseeable future, like I'll have
Now
some
you
time.
have time.
At least a couple days.
Yeah,
The turnaround on results is getting quicker.
I know. But like from what I understand, the way they're looking at it is everybody at work has to get tested, and they're not letting anybody come back until everybody's been tested.
Wow.
So, which to be fair, like I'm actually really shocked that they're not like trying to bury this. They're not like we just
Good on them.
Yeah.
it's honestly it's very surprising, and that's
I'm
fucking
giving your
terrifying.
employer a public shout out of fucking props and respect.
Yeah.
Do you care to name them and give them credit due here? 'Cause
No,
this is
fuck
rare. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, they
You
do.
had the
They-
option.
Trust me, they deserve nothing.
All right, fair enough.
But at least they're not trying to hide it.
Good on them. So, what else have you been playing?
That's it. Like,
Okay.
yeah, that's it. Like, did I tell you I accidentally bought a 9-cent game on the Switch?
Nice.
What'd you get?
It's called something like Ding Dong XL or something like that. Yeah, and the reason I accidentally bought it is because I had been playing the Final Fantasy on the PlayStation, and the Switch and the PlayStation, their confirm and back out are reversed. So I was trying to back out of it, and I ended up just confirming it. So, I haven't tried it, so I don't know what the fuck. I don't even know what it is, but.
I don't either, but I've seen it around.
Yeah, I also bought Guacamelee 1 and 2 because they were on sale on the PlayStation Network for like $5 a piece.
Yeah.
And they're Metroidvanias, so I'm sure I'll be interested. And
I got the twin pack on Switch a while ago, and I still haven't cracked it open.
I've heard good things, but I just said I've just never. And then what was the other one? A game called AER. Apparently, it's like a platformer puzzle game. But
Which, side note, by the way, the physical actually has a nice batch of stuff inside. It's got a download codes for the soundtrack for 1 and 2, DLC download codes, and what else is in here? It's got a fold-out thingy, like a little mini poster fold-out thingy.
It's got a fold-out thingy.
It's a little Where's Waldo, but it's Where's Juan for
It's
Guacamelee 1
kinda
and
cool.
Guacamelee 2.
it should have came with a fold-out luchador mask.
That'd have been kind of awesome. And it's actually got a fairly hefty instruction manual in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are
It's
both
nice.
both games on one cartridge?
Yes, they are. No download required.
Good. All right, I may end up having to track that down if
The
I
only
actually
thing that
enjoy
you
the
have
game.
to download is the DLC, but they're, like I said, the codes for the DLC are in there.
Okay.
The DLC is the only thing not on the cart.
So, yeah, but that's what I've been playing.
Nice. Let's see. What have I been playing? I started screwing around with Felix the Reaper. I like Felix the Reaper. It's awesome. Added bonus points. Voice work by Patrick Stewart.
Oh, nice.
Patrick Stewart plays the narrator / Felix's manager in the game, and it's fucking awesome. He's also a little inept, which is kind of fun to hear, Patrick Stewart playing like not quite an idiot, but kind of we fucked up, but let's move on. So-
Basically, Bullock from American Dad.
Yeah, that's about accurate, actually. Just with less guns, but encouraging more death, because that's his department. They work for the death department. But it's a neat little puzzle game. It's a little square tile based puzzle game, and you've got to figure out how to move the sun across from like position 1 to position 2 to play with the shadows, because Felix can only move in the shadows. He can't move in the light, in order to like get a thing and then take the thing and move it to another place on the stage, in order to set into motion a sequence of events that's going to cause a scheduled death. Like the first one, you literally see a fucking hunting harp, like a hunting spear, fly into somebody's fucking chest. I'm like, that's thoroughly gruesome for a very cutesy game. But the beauty of it is the whole thing is all about a fucking love story. because Felix the Reaper came to work for the death department because he's in love with this woman that works for the life department, and he's just hoping to get, over the course of working that they'll cross paths. So it's super adorable. And on top of that, Felix is the weirdo of the death department because he loves to dance. So instead of just walking through wherever you move him, he dances his way across the stage. It's fantastic. So super cute, super adorable, was absolutely worth it. I'm very happy with Felix the Reaper. I watched the beginning of We the Revolution. I put it on upstairs in the bedroom, and it's not great for games like that because the TV is too small and far away to read that much fucking text in bed, and it hurts my eyes. But listening to the opening, at least, the parts that were voiced, was really cool. At some point, I will play more of it because I'm intrigued, but right that second, it wasn't going to happen because I was like, I want to play something chill before, at bedtime. And that was going to be my thing, but then it got super text heavy and I couldn't read the text. Yeah, fuck it. Also, I pissed around with the first tree, which somebody had an artsy idea that could have been done as like a fucking art house film, but decided it needed to be a game and not a great one, honestly. The whole narrative thing is just full of fucking tropes that I'm just like, I'm not sure if I can cringe harder. So
What do you mean?
Like-
Give me an example.
Daddy always worked, and I don't think he loved me enough. And the girlfriend's going, your dad loved you. He just worked hard to provide for you. And, we didn't have lots of money, so I had handmade toys, and the other kids made fun of me. I'm like, ugh. Could we be a little less on the nose if we're going to do this kind of thing? It's like, okay, you got bullied in school. Good. It's like, it's very on the nose, heavy-handed about the whole thing rather than at least being clever. And of course, too, what you're playing has nothing to do with any of it. The whole narration is entirely divorced from what's happening on fucking screen. You play a little fox running around collecting little pings of light, and that's fucking it. I'm like, what the I'm like, I was genuinely really hoping for this cool fucking nature tale thing about this fox finding, like, the first tree to sprout in a forest somewhere that, had mystic fucking powers and was going to save the world. That's not at all. I was so disappointed. Zoe and I screwed... Oh, go ahead.
There was a game like that. Like, there's a lot of games recently where you play foxes for some reason.
Yeah.
And, like, I downloaded Seasons After Fall some time ago.
Yeah.
Kind of
Seasons After Fall I actually kind of liked.
It was
It had
okay.
some problems, but it wasn't terrible.
It got tedious pretty quick for me.
It did.
But it was entertaining.
They at least had some clever mechanics with the season change stuff. For the
some of
class.
it, yeah. The like the one you're talking about, I remember looking at it and
Don't
just
buy it.
yeah. Well, I remember looking at it and thinking that sounds like it could be neat, but at the same time, like, I got other shit to play.
Yeah, it's fucking awful. Don't. Like, you know me, I'm not one to usually shit on a game. Like, I try real hard to find things I like in a game and go, there wasn't a lot of good here, but this thing was alright. No, no. This game is only like a half step over the dear God. Ugh.
Look, Dad, I don't care.
Let's see. After last week, Zoe and I screwed around with playing some Later Daters. That shit's funny as hell.
I have no idea what that is.
So Eddie was mentioned it, that he had been playing it, and I'm like, okay, I gotta check this shit out. It's a fucking dating sim game set in an assisted living facility.
Oh yeah, I remember you talking about it. Yeah.
And it is as awesome as it sounds.
Is that a
That
Switch?
shit did not disappoint.
Is that Switch or is that PC?
Switch.
How expensive is it?
I think it was like $8 and totally worth it.
Or what was it called again?
Later
Later?
daters.
Fuck, I need to write that down. I'm down on that.
If nothing else, the $8 was worth the theme song alone. Like, just turn it on and close your eyes and listen to the theme song. Listen to the lyrics to the theme song. Oh boy. Yeah. You're in for a treat that is so worth the $8 price of admission. I promise you this.
Sounds good.
And then the big hook for me this past week has been the last handful of days specifically has been a whole lot of fucking Dead Cells again. Has got its fucking hooks back into me. Let's just say I've had some downtime at work the last few days. Yeah, I'm like, yep, we're playing Dead Cells again. So I decided I went into it with a mission this time. It wasn't just a boredom thing. That's where it started. But I decided I'm going into it. I've got a fucking objective this time. It's not just grind runs for cells to feed the forge. But I decided I'm going to start chasing down some more fucking blueprints that I didn't have, which meant that one, I'm going to have to start, I'm going to have to stick it out on 2BC or 2 boss cell runs, because I've milked pretty much everything out of no boss cell and 1 boss cell. There might be a few stragglers in 1 boss cell, but I'll probably catch them at the same time since I'm doing this now. But so I'm using the Hunter's Grenade to start forcing blueprints out of creatures, because the nice thing is when you're running around with a Hunter's Grenade, it'll tell you if a creature has a blueprint that you haven't gotten yet, so then you can whack it, turn it into an elite, and then force the blueprint out of it, including the rares, which means basically you can negate the issue of low drop rates as long as you're hitting the correct enemy in a high enough boss cell tier, because there are some that have like 0 drop rates for blueprints until you get into a certain boss cell tier. So,
a specific one, or
I think it's just a minimum. I'd have to go back and check the wiki, but I think it's just like a minimum. Like, in order to get this blueprint from this creature, you have to be running at least 2 boss cell, but not specifically only 2 boss cell. So if you get into 3 boss cell, I'm pretty sure you can still get it on a 3 boss cell run as well. So, but I know some of them have like minimums, and there's also just enemies that don't show up until you get into higher tier boss cells. So the higher, the more boss cells you start cranking in, the more enemy variety you're going to see as well. So that's one of the things I'm reappreciating over the last couple days is 2 years and 400 some hours later, I'm still seeing new stuff for the first time in Dead Cells. And I'm still getting new stuff for the first time in Dead Cells, like unlocking new things still. And I'm like, God, that has fucking longevity and replayability. You're hard pressed to find another game that's a better bang for the buck, honestly. If it's anywhere in your wheelhouse, that game is worth the $1. So I've managed to, in the last couple days, pick up several new blueprints and various odds and ends, and like I said, I've been doing a lot of it by way of custom mode, which I'm having all kinds of fun fucking with all sorts of weird shit in custom mode just because it's fun. some of it's just because it makes the run a little bit more tangible for me. I love it, but I don't claim to be particularly amazing at it. So yes, I will, use the fucking handicap in order to be able to get to unlock the things that I want to, play with, to be able to see them all. So I'll take that trade. And even with that trade-off, you still got to put some skill in. It's not just like you can waltz through it, but because I'm still getting my ass kicked in 2BC, but I'm getting further. Like, I actually had one 2BC run where I made it all the way to Hand of the King, but I was running something just slightly goofy, and it fucked me up at Hand of the King. But no, like I said, I've found some new stuff that I really like in there. Like I said, the Giant's Whistle is fucking hilarious. Just the great big fucking Giant's Fist and a whole lot of fuck you. I'm a little disappointed, given that it's the Giant, that when the fist goes back down, it doesn't flip the bird like he did at the end of the boss fight. That made me sad, and it felt like a serious missed opportunity. So that's really my only complaint with the Giant's Whistle. So, but other than that, that's been most of what I've been playing. I'm thinking if all goes according to plan, I will probably be finishing Ori tomorrow night.
Where are you at? How much more is left to go?
The Weeping Bridge, just end game. So I finished the Sandworm last time.
Pretty sure you're not finishing it tomorrow. It takes a little bit once you start that to get to the end still. I actually I played through it again. I'm right at the ending boss on hard mode, and it's kind of fucking me up.
Okay. But yeah, last time I finished the Sandworm.
Mm-hmm.
So, I should be end game at this point, or like home stretch.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gone back to it.
Yeah, I don't expect you to.
My daughter has agreed to help me. We'll see what happens.
There you go. Bonding time.
I'm actually really anxious to see what you think of that ending fight, because I was like, it's a bitch, but it's really well done in my opinion.
Yeah.
You're not helping, Michael.
I will say, did you watch the honest trailer for Will o' the Wisps?
No.
No. Oh, there's an honest trailer.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, I know what I'm watching.
They bring up one of my big complaints, which is the fucking hitboxes with the boss. The bosses, and you literally just keep running yourself inadvertently into the bosses while trying to hit them, because trying to figure out where their fucking hitboxes is a mess.
Like, I had a big issue with the spider boss. I forget her name, Mora, I think, because, like, the abdomen, you can walk through the abdomen with no problems whatsoever. And so you never know, okay, which legs are actually fucking dangerous right now.
Yeah.
Quolok was the same way. And, like, you're right, that tongue is a bitch because it tracks so well.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, I beat it on the second try on hard mode.
Oh, well. So.
What was it? Like, yeah, the spider gave me more trouble than Quolok did.
See, I was the other way around. I didn't have any major issues with the spider.
I've been, like, what was it? Like, first of all, I found out you can Hollow Knight pogo bounce off the spider for a while.
Really?
Yeah, like, because if you do the downward attack, you bounce off. So you can keep doing that if you know what you're doing, but you really have to. It's difficult to track where the spider's going to go.
Right.
So literally, I would do that once or twice and then dash back to the wall. I was also using the what was it? The javelin, the spike, I think it's called.
Yeah.
But because it uses so much
or whatever it is, yeah.
Because it uses so much energy, you have to be sparing with it. Because I said it does.
You have to be spearing with it.
We're no longer
That's
friends.
horrible.
Yeah, thank you. But like, yeah. So plus, as I said, I found a cheat to help through the bubble puzzles. I'm
curious what it was.
The what's it called? the flaming orb that you can throw.
Okay.
You charge it up. You can bash off it.
Right.
So, instead of doing the bubble puzzles, like
Oh.
just chuck that fucker straight up and just keep ricocheting off that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still liked my solution.
Yeah. My face still looks okay.
Don't lie, you're jealous.
A little bit.
I mean that's probably the most Michael solution to that puzzle you could come across. Is just brute force fuck this. It'll hurt, but I'll make it.
I've done it before. I'm pretty sure I've done shit like that in the Metroid games.
Probably.
Like, it's just a little lava. Fuck it.
Exactly. Like, I got help to spare. Fuck this shit.
Who needs a various suit? Fuck this.
Exactly. So, but yeah. But no, like I said, I think we talked about it. But I finished the spider escape, or the sandworm escape. And honestly, I mean, don't get me wrong. I ran into some hiccups, like some game glitches that gave me some problems a few times. But generally speaking, for the most part, I didn't feel like it was that horrifically difficult. It didn't give me a ton of trouble.
Which one? The
sandworm? Yeah. So, which I was a little surprised because, you know, I've caught a fair bit in the forums of a lot of people griping about the sandworm escape.
Why?
I don't
like it
like
wasn't bad.
Everybody
It's
seems
just
to struggle with it, and I'm like,
it's actually probably one of the easiest escapes in the game.
yeah. No, agreed. I think really my only issue was just timing out my burrow leaps and burrow back ins.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I bumped into issues more than anything with it, aside from some technical glitches that, I mean, you guys saw. I know Kathy, you saw it when I was doing it, where like right at the beginning it would get stuck.
Yeah.
So, but outside of that, I mean, I really liked it. I thought it was cool as shit. So I was honestly a little disappointed there wasn't a boss fight to go with the sandworm.
Did you notice that when you hit the start button, the pause button, every time you've killed a boss, there's like a starlit silhouette of each of them?
Mm-hmm.
And Howl and the sandworm both appear on there, actually, even though you don't technically kill either of them. They kill themselves.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I could have totally seen, especially considering our friend was, you know, behind a lot of that. I totally could have seen a very, like, Cirrus-esque boss fight with the sandworm.
Cirrus?
Yeah, from Metroid Fusion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, Milton put a Cirrus fight into AM2R.
Oh.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, he's tackled that before. So I'm a little surprised they didn't put that to work. So,
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think, with the way the sandworm was, I don't think it really needed it. Like, as I said, like, because the escape sequence as it went, and the fact that the ending of the escape sequence is story based, and it basically just, it's trying to get you so bad that it ends up killing itself.
right.
I don't
See
think
that.
a boss, like, I think if they
I
would
wouldn't have minded having something in that sequence where you had to at least, you know, deal out, you know, a hit or two in order to, as part of the escape.
like burrow under it at some point while it's passing and strike something, just to
Right.
keep it enraged chasing you.
Exactly. That
Yeah, I
would have
could-
been a good way to do that. So,
But as I said, like, because the same concept with Howl, you fight him a minimal amount at the very beginning of the game, and
Right.
then I didn't even realize it the first time I played through the game, but the second time you see him, he's been turned to stone
mhm,
in the Ashlands, I think. I don't remember what they're
Yeah.
called. But
the
and-
swamp.
yeah, and like as I said, I didn't connect the two at first. So like I just thought it was weird that suddenly, oh, he's dead.
Right.
But like I recognize it now, the fact that they're trying to show that, like, you know, even the most dangerous creatures here are succumbing to this, to nothing. Like,
This game only further cements my working theory, by the way. And I was talking with a friend who actually works. I won't disclose names, departments, or anything, but legit actually works at Nintendo. We were chatting a little bit on the subject of our discussion of like various Metroid crossover or offshoot ideas. I told him, like, you know, I've got a working theory that says that the Metroid universe and the Ori universe are actually the same, that they coexist. And more specifically, I firmly believe part of that working theory is that the Idakuns and the Dachors actually, their home planet is the same planet as Ori's.
I'd be okay with that.
I would too. I'd really dig the shit out of that. So,
You know what they should have done with the Ori? Like, and
What?
this is a minor spoiler to both of you, but there's nothing you unlock when you beat the game. Like, when it's done, it's just done. There was nothing. You know
well,
what
the
they
first
should
one was that way too.
Yeah, but what they should have done with this is allow you to replay the game with Sign from the first one.
Ooh.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
I'd have fucking dug that.
Like,
Fuck
even
yeah.
if they didn't put dialogue or anything, just that attack system,
Right.
like, would
Right.
have been fun to play with because it would have altered certain aspects of the game.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually, like, as I said, I loved the game, but I was highly disappointed that there was nothing. Like, or at minimum, let me replay the game with Ori with a Moki skin.
There you go.
The little monkeys?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that'd be a fucking blast.
You get behind that.
Um,
Now, see, that would have been a great way to do co-op, honestly.
yeah. Yeah.
Come to think of it, are there any co-op Metroidvanias?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I feel like that's the next big challenge
No,
for the
it
genre.
has to,
Somebody
it
needs
has to
work it out.
exist. Like, there has to be something.
I want a co-op Metroidvania. That's it. I'm getting a hold of Milton when we're done. I'm like, hey, I got a job for you. Design this, please. So, but yeah, like a co-op Metroidvania.
Stuff
Somebody
comes
figure
up.
that out. And that's the thing. That ties back to my idea or my working theory of Ori and Metroid existing in the same universe, because I could totally see, like, that's the co-op Metroidvania game I want. Samus crash lands on Ori's planet, where the Idakuns and the Dachors are from, meets Ori and Sign, and goes on it, and it's the two together, and you can co-op the shit out of it. One person plays Samus, one plays as Ori, and you have to play it co-op and to work together in order to get through the whole game, because one can do things the other cannot, and vice versa. There's strong suits and weak suits for each.
I want to see in the Metroid series, Samus slowly devolve into basically a Metroid humanoid.
I know, that's kind of what I'm hoping we get a glimpse of in
Or
not Prime 4, but a sequel to Fusion.
oh yeah,
Because that's
Okay.
where Fusion left off, was, you know, she was fused with Metroid DNA. I totally want to see that go the fucking Spider-Man route, where you start seeing more of those attributes come through. And it actually affects her abilities and thus gameplay mechanics.
okay. Off subject, real quick. Back to the co-op
Yeah.
Metroidvania. Both
What'd you find?
Guacamoles,
Okay.
Sultan Sanctuary.
Is it really?
Apparently, which you have some idea. Tremendous Blast teaming up with someone to mitigate the otherwise rock-hard difficulty of the game. Time Spinner, apparently.
Was
However,
it?
oh wait.
Wow.
However, for player 2, it's kind of boring. You only have basic
Oh.
attack. Oh, boring. Andika 7, the Dream King? I've never heard of that one.
I haven't either.
Yeah, and a robot named Fight.
Oh
apparently has
yeah,
co-op.
that had a thing, didn't it?
And then has separate local co-op modes is Outland, Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet. Unreleased.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Insanely did something. I was just talking about that with somebody
I've
today.
actually never gotten to see that. I always wanted to.
Oh, you should come over sometime.
And Bloodstained Ritual of the Night apparently is going to have some kind of local co-op eventually.
Huh.
But that's it. It's a short list.
What I'm hearing is you need to come over and you and I need to stream some co-op Guacamelee since neither of us have played it.
I might be dying, remember? You don't want me in your house.
You'll be
Eh.
fine.
Anyway.
So, but yeah, so that's what I've been playing, which means we've come to a perfectly good place to take a pause before the third half of the show tonight and say break. And we're back with the third half of the show. This week we are going into part 2 of our deep dive into fan communities and cultures in gaming. So last week we covered the best of fan communities. This week we're looking at the worst. The fucking cesspools. So this week we're going to shine a low light of infamy on some of those that just make our fucking blood boil. So I'm gonna throw it over to Kathy first. Yeah.
And why? Why would you throw it over to me first? Why always me first?
It's not always you first. Hush. So.
Anyhow, so we're looking at the worst communities.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, I'm going to lump a whole kind of group of them into one category that I like to refer to as the esports community. We're looking at League of Legends. We're looking at Dota. We're looking at Call of Duty. We're looking at CSGO. We're looking at Fortnite. We're looking at all those games that have the competitive money prizes that you see, that you can go onto Twitch, that are now becoming the staples. And colleges are now having esports teams. They're considered athletic teams. That is a very toxic community. And unless you... And that's not everyone. I have met some nice people in Fortnite, but I've met some real assholes. I have met some assholes in League of Legends. People are not very welcoming to new members, and they will rip you a new one. They're also not very welcoming to females. That's another side that I've seen, is that the minute they find you're a girl, or if they have any indication that you're female, you're considered just a shitty player, even though there are some amazing female players out there. But it's very difficult to learn these games, and that is why I haven't really... That's why I think I like Fortnite and Apex Legends more so than others, because I was able to be there in the beginning when everybody was new and everybody sucked.
You got in at the ground floor.
Exactly, so then you're able to build that. But when I started playing League of Legends, and then I tried to dip into Call of Duty and CSGO, I would get kicked out because people just didn't want me there. Or I made one little mistake, and it was get out. And I don't even want to go into the language that was used. That's the other thing, is that the language, the voice chatting, I purposely turned it off so I can't hear what others are saying, because even if they don't, going aside from the sexism, just based on what you hear, people are just downright horrible.
Vile.
It's horrible. And I know it's because they're able to hide behind the mic, behind their characters, but it's just... They're fun games. They really are. This is nothing against those games. They're fun to play. They're really intriguing, but it's the people involved that make it so hard to want to play those games.
Yeah, that's... I'm with you on that. I mean, aside from the fact that the shooter and online multiplayer stuff is not my cup of tea per se. That's a major factor in me not even wanting to dip my toe into it. Like every once in a while I'll be at the store and I'll see Overwatch sitting there. I'm like, this looks like it could be fun, and I know I'm not big on shooters and I'm not great at them, but I feel like I could maybe have some fun with this. And then I remember, oh yeah, online multiplayer, fuck all that, I'm out.
Again, it
that
just
means
depends on
dealing
who
with
you're
awful
with.
people.
Yeah, and again,
Yeah.
it depends. I mean, I've lucked out in the Fortnite community that I have made some good connections. So I have people who I can definitely play with and have a fun time. But even then, sometimes they get so competitive that it becomes no fun, or they are like, I'm done, I'm out. And so then you're like, well, what do I do now? So it's definite, and I probably took other people's games, so I apologize, and putting it all into one, but really that it is that competitiveness, I think, that really destroys those communities and this idea. Plus also a lot of young people play, and these younger it's a lot of the kids who see these other adults doing it, so then they feel like they have to do it, and I think that just feeds it. It just feeds it, and these kids have no, oh my god, if their parents knew what they were saying, believe me, I monitor my kids a lot, and I had to stop my son from playing Fortnite because he was becoming that toxic, and I had to be like, wait, hold up. And it wasn't anything bad, but I could see where it was heading, so I had to say no. Thankfully he doesn't play it anymore. It's not his game. He has other games that he prefers, but it's like, okay, chill. So but the community can be very, I've had things said to me that would make you guys blush, and I know you guys don't blush very easily.
Yeah, there's some vile shit out there.
So
I am curious though, because I've got one in particular in mind, but again, I don't follow those communities real heavily. But from what I've seen, there's one that comes to mind that feels like an exception to that rule as far as the esports stuff. Are there any that jump out to you as maybe an exception to that? Like any game in particular?
I'd have to say right now Apex Legends and actually Overwatch. Those are the two communities that I don't see as much issue with. So it's funny that you brought up Overwatch, because I wouldn't put that in there as much. And Apex because it's still new, and because I've had people, not be so mean, but like I've been put into those matchmaking games where people have been like, God, I thought you were going to be horrible, but you helped. Thank you so much. And like have actually come up and said, haven't been rude, but just like, come on, you got, been more pushy. But then at the end are like, thank you, appreciate it, move on. So.
Right. I'm just curious on your thoughts on this, because the one that sprung to mind for me is maybe something of an exception. Rocket League.
Oh, I didn't even think about Rocket League because I don't play that one, so I don't know. And that's just it. And having not gotten involved I'm looking at all the games that I've tried and gotten involved with at some point down the road. Rocket League is not one that I've been majorly involved in.
I feel like you'd have a lot of fun with Rocket League.
I don't like the idea of driving a car. I mean, I don't do so.
It's
if
not.
you've ever watched me play Fortnite, I don't do well with vehicles, and I don't do well with exploding weapons. Okay, let's be honest. I either kill myself, or I drive the boats or everything into walls. No.
And that's okay, because the thing is, you can't really drive into the walls on Rocket League. You just drive up the walls.
I would be lost.
Which serves the purpose. So,
it's funny that you bring up Rocket League. I don't know much about that community, but I don't think you hear about that one as much. So yeah, you're probably right. Rocket League. Rocket League is not one of the ones that I think of when I think of toxic communities. So it's probably one of the safer bets. Now that's gaining notoriety, though, that could change. But
well, and I think Rocket League has something going for it in the fact that the game itself, at least in game, no matter what platform you're playing on, has no built-in voice chat.
And that helps.
Mm-hmm.
That I think voice chat helps. That's why Smash Brothers I don't include, even though that's an e-sport, I don't include Smash Brothers in there because that one's a little different in how you have to play that. So
yeah, even Smash Brothers I think delves a little bit into that. I won't say toxic, but definitely elitist.
But that's not what we're talking. But we're not talking about elitist. You didn't ask about elitist. We're talking about toxic.
Just the worst. But
yeah.
But yeah, no. And again, it's a distinction that should be made. That elitist side for Smash, I think, creates a significant barrier to entry, but it's not actively really working to keep anyone down and out.
No.
So, and that is an important distinction to make.
Yes.
So, Michael, I know you've had some dealings with some awful fucking communities.
Actually, you'd be surprised, because I don't play online games. Like I said,
it doesn't always have to be online.
Well, I mean, just in general, I don't play online games. I definitely don't play anything where people can talk at me.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I'm terrible at shooters. I won't play shooter games. I'm so bad at them. And, but I know the communities for a lot of these shooter games are just the worst fucking human beings. A lot of what Kathy was just saying, and just that dude bro mentality.
Yeah.
And just shit like that. We used to have a gaming group a long time ago with a bunch of friends where we'd all go over to Pez's house and we'd just play, usually it was fighting games. Either fighting games or Mario Kart or something like that.
Yeah.
And the two fighting games that we would switch back and forth between were Soul Calibur 2, I think it was at the time. And whatever.
I think I just jizzed a little at the thought of Soul Calibur 2.
Yeah, I know. The new one is shit, by the way.
I refuse to play anymore until they start including the ability to dismember characters.
Yeah, no shit. And then, whichever Tekken was popular at the time. I think it might have been 3. I can't remember. But, and there was this one guy in the group named, what the fuck was his name? We used to call him Little Brother. I can't remember what his real fucking name is. And, he was that guy that would never stop talking shit. And it was not even he was just trying to be funny. He wasn't even actually trying to be, but it got so fucking annoying that it would get to the point to where whenever someone was going up to fight, someone else would get chosen to, you're the person that punches him when he don't shut the fuck up.
Jesus.
Yeah, and it got bad enough that we stopped inviting him eventually.
Aww.
Because his gloating would last longer than the fucking fight.
God.
And then what was worse is the reason he won is because he was a turtler. He would literally just duck down and block everything and then just poke you to death. Didn't actually play the game. So, he wouldn't play me at Tekken, though. Because eventually he found when he found out that you can still grab someone who's blocking, yeah, he was done. Every time I had to fight him, I'd pick King, and I'd grab him once and wouldn't let him go until the match was over.
Nice.
But as I said, overall, I don't really play anything that you deal with stuff like that. So as I said, like, because the vast, like I said, I'm pretty much morally opposed to playing, games with people outside of couch co-op.
Right.
And as I said, I used to play Tekken a lot, but I'm good at Tekken up until I get online and play it, and then I get the shit whooped out of me, and that's very disheartening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like, I haven't played Tekken against somebody in years.
I've kind of got the same thing with Mario Kart.
Yeah.
God knows that.
I used to
Jesus,
rock
that
with
was definitely the rule with Tetris DS. Holy shit. Like, I wasn't bad, and then you played online with the fucking Japanese kids, and you're just like, what the fuck is happening here?
Hell, my daughter started beating me. That's what got me out of Mario Kart. Used to kick her butt, and then all of a sudden, next thing I know, she's like 3 laps ahead of us. We're still on the first lap. Like, what the hell?
Apparently the rubber banding broke. So, but yeah. So I'm gonna throw one out there that comes to mind, and it's not an online, it's not a multiplayer community, but it is one that always kind of struck me as very asshole-ish and very abrasive, especially to new folks trying to get into it, is the Souls-like community.
Oh my god, yeah.
So, to your point, does not have to be interacting in-game for that community to be fuck awful.
The simple fact that most people's response, rather than offer advice or help, is just get good.
Get good.
You're not, like, you should be allowed to punch those people in the throat. That's a dick move.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you actually are trying to ask, hey, I could use some help,
Right. There's a difference between, I can't beat it, I'm stuck, and, kind of jokingly going, well, yeah, it's because you got to get good. Versus, here are some suggestions. Here's the opening to wait for. But nobody wants to fucking throw that out there. They just want to be a dick and go get good. And then on top of that rabbit hole goes even fucking deeper in the fact that, you have conversations surrounding this genre of games, and the argument over as to whether or not the inclusion of something like an easy mode devalues the game. Yeah. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Like, and I agree with the concept, like, if it doesn't affect you, mind your own fucking business. Like, play the game you want to play. It doesn't matter. Like, if you don't like it, don't fucking play it.
Yeah, no shit.
I think the problem is that we see, if we really were to look into these communities and look into these toxic communities. No, what I'm saying is, I think when you think about how many people actually play the game, and probably it's not as many people are being toxic. They're just the loudest ones and the ones that are the highest up and have the most, like you say, they're the elitist.
Volume.
Yeah. So, that's something to keep in mind too. But yeah, it's people, yeah, I can't even finish that statement because people can be real assholes, as we have seen with everything going on.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I mean, and no, you're right. I mean, I guarantee you, all of those communities have some real genuine bright spots in them, but a big problem becomes when essentially the community nominated mouthpiece for them is a fucking prick.
Yep.
It just sullies all of it.
Yep.
Which is a fucking shame.
It is. I have another one.
Oh, what do you got?
Those who prefer physical media to virtual media, as I have come to find out. Some of y'all can be real assholes when I bring up the virtual games versus physical games. So it's not really games, specific game. It's a community of people who prefer their physical to virtual and tell me that to go to hell.
Oh, no. Hang on. Because I'm not going to disagree with you, but I'm going to throw in a modifier here. We are not the fucking problem in that community.
Did I say you were the fucking problem? Did I say you? No, I did not say you. And if you thought I implied it, I apologize, but that's on you for thinking that. But no, that is something I have seen, and not because of you guys. It's just, in a way, it comes back to our discussions amongst us as a group. Dylan and I are on the virtual media.
Yeah.
Others, the rest seem to be all physical, and we go back and forth jokingly, sort of.
Yeah.
In our chats, sort of. But I have noticed, especially as I'm looking at articles and videos and people talking about their collections and stuff, there definitely can be, and maybe it's more elitist, but I think it does become more toxic because there is that talking about how physical is the only way to go or virtual is the only way to go. There are a lot of us who are okay with both, but I do see some toxicity more so in this community than I thought I would. I figured it wouldn't be. It's the fact that we all love playing games, but there is that.
Let me tell you, I want to dive a little deeper on this. I'm in several of those groups.
I bet you are.
I am, and oh boy, what a fucking shit show some of this is. So, first of all, there's some bullshit on both sides of the fence, but it's different types of bullshit. I will say, I have not really come across anybody shouting down the existence of digital. However, I will say on the digital side of the fence, I've seen numerous people going, why the fuck won't physical just die already? When can we get to all digital? It's like, one does not preclude the other. That boggles my mind.
Well, again, we live in a world where it's okay. People have all developed this sense of entitlement, and there's no consequences for being a shitty person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we need. Here's a new job description that we need, is someone just to go around and hunt down people and beat the fuck out of them publicly when they're being shitty people.
Yeah. Now, on the physical community side, there is some real nasty shit that goes around. However, it's namely directed at companies from the community. And a lot of it very specifically is directed at LRG. I think the worst of it really sprouted from the Brightbot Arvo incident a while back.
Yeah.
That said, however, it's calmed down a little. It's the frenzy isn't there that once was, but it's definitely a lot more prevalent baseline than it was before that these days. And don't get me wrong, I have my own niggling issues with LRG. I'm not a fan of their shipping and distribution setup. They go through UPS Mail Innovations, which is a fucking hot mess. Because accurately getting to track your shit is like fucking impossible. I'm just like, there's better ways. Please pick one of them. And I'm not gonna lie, we've conversed back and forth. Their customer support side definitely has a lot of room for improvement. But that said, that does not warrant the level of dickheadedness that people hurl at them. It's like, maybe if you weren't shitheads and just said, hey, we really like your stuff, but it would be great if maybe you guys could please, make these things a little smoother. Instead of going, why the fuck can't you? Going, okay, we probably don't see all the sides of it, but if you communicated a little more transparently, we might understand a little better, and maybe we could all work together to meet somewhere in the middle.
Now you're just asking for too much. Damn.
Apparently. So, that said, too, I mean, there's obviously been numerous other companies that have popped up, and a couple of them have been really exceptional in the way that they've structured their business model and have managed to dodge that ire. And I suspect they've set up their business models specifically looking at some of the feedback from the community and the pain points that people have had with LRG and gone, we can circumvent that problem by doing it this way.
Yep.
But again, even some of that comes with trade-offs as well too.
Right.
You get ones where they don't take forever to ship because they're already pre-manufactured, but that means there is literally a limited quantity. There are no open pre-orders like what LRG does with a lot of their stuff.
Right.
And so it's like, that's your exchange. Pick one. So, cart then horse or horse then cart. So, and then there are others that I have found no redeeming qualities, but are small enough that nobody but me bitches about. Cough, cough, Red Art Games, cough. Fuckers.
Yeah.
Like, everything about my experience with Red Art Games so far has been fucking awful.
That's horrible.
So, like, supposedly my game is finally fucking shipping. I've yet to get a confirmation on it or a tracking number, but supposedly they started shipping 2 days ago. That's the other thing too, is that's another one of my big gripes with LRG, and even some of the others to an extent, but LRG seems to have the biggest swing of it, is they seem to ship in waves rather than getting everything ready to go and just all out the door in one shot. Because, like you said, you've got fucking LeGrue got his copies of Blasphemous and managed to get yours to you before mine have even made it to my house direct from LRG.
Yep.
It's been in the mail to me for a week and a half. And it's like,
Sorry.
the fuck?
I'm sorry. Not really, but I am. Sort of.
No, and it's nothing to be sorry about. It's just, this is one of those pain points that has festered so bad that's caused some of that just toxicity to spew and infect that community, and the real shame is, and I will say I'm grateful for the fact that I got into some of those group communities online, at least, a couple months before the Brightbot stuff hit, where you could at least see it in its final heyday of glory of, yay, physical games. I have this. Do you have that? Let's trade. Or, I'm looking for this. And somebody says, I have that. I'll help you. To, it's just shit posting more than it is anything else anymore. But I at least got a couple months of, personal joy and delight from that community before that happened and that big culture shift came about. And, that peak that peak glory day I did manage to bag one or two goodies out of that. I've still managed to bag a few goodies here and there post post infestation, but it's not what it once was, and it makes me sad, and I miss that time frame, that time period for that community, and I'm sad that it essentially devolved in mere days before my eyes, so into what it is now. But that said, I will agree with you, though both of those communities have some real fucking just cesspools of but no, I think that's where I kind of land on it. I think those are definitely some of the peak ones, and I will say, you know, I'm glad we got to at least highlight a couple of bright spots throughout there, so it's not, you know, it's not all bitching tonight.
I think the overall, I think the biggest overall take is, yeah, you're going to have these toxic communities, but overall, the gaming community is just so widespread. And reality is, for the most part, the gaming communities can be a lot of fun. You get to meet a lot of great people. Hell, if it hadn't been for games, I would never have met you guys. So, you know, so there are a lot more bright spots than those negatives, and that's really what it comes down to. So,
I will say too, not to put a downer note on it, or not that I want to, but I will say it does feel, unfortunately, like a lot of it is luck of the draw.
mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, do I get lucky enough to get paired up, or, you know, match up with somebody, or find somebody in that community that, you know, makes me want to stay and gives me that little bit of happiness to make it worth suffering the rest of the insipid crap, you know, before it all gets to me and I say, fuck it. And I also want to take a moment to highlight an overall, just by way of a point of comparison, because I know we talked about it a little bit last week. At least I think I recall mentioning it. But the disparity between the board game community and the video game community in general is just depressing to me. Like I said, I so often look at the board game community and go, why can't my community be this fucking nice instead of just being overrun and rampant with self-entitled fucking pricks about everything?
What's it called? The tabletop role playing. Actually, the tabletop role playing community is very much like that. I was always astounded by this, especially because I've been role playing since I was little. So, you know, I was into it when it wasn't fucking cool, basically. And the amount of elitist pricks that, you know, like I have this very vivid memory of, was it Fantasy Cards and Games? I don't know if they still do, but they used to have an actual gaming room.
They do.
And when a big group of us first started playing, we would meet there. And I remember we'd played a couple of games, and then suddenly this guy, this mountain of a man, just lumbers over to us and asks if he could play. And we're like, well, do you got a character? And he got this haughty fucking look on his face and pulls out, I think it was like, because we were like a level 3, you know, 3rd edition group for fucking D&D. And he pulls out a level 63, half tiefling, half dragon. Like, just all this insane bullshit. And, like, just starts spewing out, my character does this, and I've also got this ability and this ability. No details of the actual character, just everything is, my character can do this.
Right.
And then, like, maybe fucking less than 10
years. It's all features and no personality.
Yeah. And then, like, I was asked to join a game maybe less than 10 years ago with a group that I've known for a very long time. And I was excited. I was so fucking excited because I hadn't actually played a game in 20 years at this point. I've been running, but I haven't played one. So I show up with the character I made, and the character, I literally made the character with specific hindrances. He was specifically using a weapon that he wasn't proficient in because the character found it and thought it looked neat and it was different. Just dumb shit like that. And the group literally made fun of me in character for it. You're a fighter. You shouldn't know how to use that. Why are you carrying that? And just like it kept progressively getting dumber. And I only ended up playing that character 4 times before the group imploded in on itself because they were all rule mongers. The entire table was rule mongers. And every time the DM did something, they would go into a half hour like, is that really how the rules for this work? And a friend of ours that we all went to school with had come back from the military, and he immediately joined the game. And the second game he was there, he starts rule mongering and got pissed because they were telling him, no, your rules are wrong. And like it ended up, really the game just completely shut down because of it. Like the DM, my friend Jason, stopped running game for 4 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And like as I said, it was just, like as I said, the entire purpose behind every character in that group, every player character, wasn't to play the game, wasn't to develop a character. It was my character can kick your character's ass. That was literally all it was. And I went into it completely with the opposite. No, like I don't give a shit about the rules or the numbers. I just want to play this character, like this specific personality. Because as I said, I have a penchant for coming up with weird fucking. Like in a Shadowrun game once, I played a male dwarven stripper. Just like
that's awesome.
And the thing was, like, I put enough, rather than put stuff into stuff we can actually use in the game, I put enough into his charisma and his abilities at that job that he was world renowned with it. And like, because his charisma was so high, he was basically a face in the group. Like he handled all the negotiations and shit like that. He was fast talker, but he was such a fun fucking character. And as I said, like he couldn't use a gun for shit, but I had so much fucking fun with that character. The characters that are more personality than anything else, I've always been so much fun to me. Yeah. I don't know, like as I said, it's just, but like those people, like as I said, it's always been fucking terrible. Like, and at the end, that guy I was telling you about earlier, the Mountain of a Man, he's the entire reason we stopped going to fantasy.
Aww.
Because, like, we let him play, I think it was 2 weeks, and the first game was, as I said, my half dragon, half, level 289, blah, blah, blah. Just, we made him make a new character, and he bitched up a storm. And he didn't actually make a character. He bent rules so bad that his character was by and away stronger than any of our group.
Right.
Even though his character was 2 levels behind ours. Like just pulling weird rules out of his fucking ass. And then the next week that we all showed up, we remember he went up to the snack bar and came back with this cheeseburger that he didn't so much eat as fucking inhale. And then like he spent the entire rest of the game scratching at his beard and having just big chunks of this congealed cheese just all over him, all over the table, and just at the end, by the end of it, we were like, all right, we're done. Yeah. And like every time anyone did anything in game that was in character, he's like, why would you do that? It would be smarter and more beneficial if you did it this way. Like, I don't know. It just kept getting progressively dumber. But
It's a
as I said,
shame.
like, so yeah, a lot of those people tend to be, and it sucks because, as I said, these are people that should be coming together, because we're all in the same boat, because like we're not the popular kids, we are the fat kids, we are the nobodies,
Mhm.
and like, as I said, the tiniest little bit of power, they got so shitty with it.
But see, that's the thing, is I feel like that community basically got divided into two camps. There were the I'm here because this is fun, imaginative, and creative, and I want to invite you to come be fun, imaginative, creative, and weird with me. And then there were the fucking gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Gatekeepers and this is my power trip, basically. I have no
Yeah.
power in my actual life, so my character is going to dominate everything.
Yep. This is me compensating for a personality.
Yep.
Or lack thereof. So, well. But I mean, at least that community does have that one side, the back half of the property where it's all the fun hippie kids playing around, going, "Come play with us, join the drum circle."
Yeah.
So, but
And as I said, I know it's a lot more popular now,
mhm.
but I'm fucking 40 years old. It'd be creepy if I'm hanging out there. So, like, and as I said, I have my gaming group friends that we game on Saturday. Right now, because of the whole COVID thing, we've been gaming on via Discord.
Yeah.
But
I'm glad that's working out for you.
I'm actually not a fan of Discord.
Yeah.
Like, I've got a bunch of other friends that they started just an ongoing chat in Discord, and it
Mhm.
just pisses me off on my phone because I have to keep jumping back and forth between fucking Facebook Messenger, text message, and Discord.
But-
It also doesn't help that they're all hardcore stoners, so 80% of their conversations are about, I'm getting stoned right now, and I don't
Right.
think that, so it just gets old really quick.
Damn.
Yeah, it does. So, well, I think that's as good a note as any to close on this week. Thank you to both Kathy and Michael for coming and hanging out and bitching and venting with me, and dragging the rats and the roaches into the light this week. Thank you to everybody that came and hung out and tolerated our fuckery this week as well. If you think you can tolerate more of our bullshit, you should definitely subscribe to us on all the various places: Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, Twitch. There, I've covered that all. We're good. And then see how many other people you can get to tolerate us as well, because we might be snarky, but we are not gatekeepers. We want you to come, join us in our misery, or just our
God.
general weird shenanigans. We have many weird shenanigans.
We do,
So.
but I'm not miserable. Damn.
No, but Michael is, and he supplies
but-
us with ample supply to go around. So for those of us that aren't naturally miserable, he allows us to experience that vicariously through him. He provides a service.
All right, I'm gonna shut up now.
So with all that said, good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back next week. Peace! I swear to God, after this year, I'm pretty sure we should be outlawing the phrase, I go with the flow. No, that's a fucking bunch of bullshit.
Have you heard that recently?
Recently? No, especially not recently. But after everything this year, I feel that phrase needs to be fucking outlawed because there's no way that anybody can say that without it just being an outright fucking lie anymore.
I go with the flow, Larry.
Uh,
I'm always going with the flow. Dude, stop chewing on my boots.
That doesn't sound very going with the flow to me.
yeah. If you were really going with the flow, you just let him chew the boot.